Hey guys, TJ here, and today we're going to be talking about Bright. This film is a mixture of Training Day, Warcraft, Lord of the Rings, and Fifth Element. Except, suck out all the fun. Bright is an original crime fantasy drama directed by David Ayer. And David Ayer, for the longest time, has been an anomaly. People can't tell whether or not he's a good director or whether or not he's just not great. He directed End of Watch, which a lot of people consider to be a great film, but he also directed Suicide Squad, so yeah. But I was willing to give this film a chance, especially because the premise just seems so interesting. It's written by Landis, who also wrote the film Chronicle and a few other things. And so just the idea of having a really modern day fantasy world really seemed like something that would work on screen. And I'm here to say that this movie's not good. I don't get how you can make such a really cool story idea turn out so horribly. So this film takes place in modern day Los Angeles in a world in which there are different magical creatures that coexist with humanity. You have your orcs, you have your elves, you have your fairies, dragons, centaurs, all these crazy things exist, and they're just like incorporated into the modern world. And yes, I know that sounds cool, it sounds like you really want to watch something like that, but doesn't really pay off. As a matter of fact, like the background information about the old history of the world that Bright takes place in is a lot more interesting than the actual world of Bright. Like 2,000 years ago, there was this great battle between the Dark Lord and the orcs and the humans and the elves, and I thought to myself, actually that sounds more interesting than what's actually going on screen right now. But you know, that's not where the problems in this film really lie. Like certain plot points just appear out of nowhere and characters don't seem to actually have a grasp on the world that they're living in. Like nothing makes sense. It's almost as if orcs and elves were just like popped into existence and that's just normal. Magic exists in this world and it doesn't do anything. When it does do something, then people kind of act like, oh wow, of course it happens, and then other times people are like, wait a second, that's magic? Will Smith and Joel Edgerton are cops. Will Smith plays a human, Joel Edgerton plays an orc, and in this world, like, everybody hates orcs as if like that's the right thing to do because 2,000 years ago, the orcs sided with the bad guy, the evil darkness. Apparently, like, 2,000 years is like the grudge people can just keep with them. One of the film's weaker aspects is that they try to tackle allegory and they can't do it right. Like, throw things out there, they're like, oh, we're gonna be commenting, on race relations and, police brutality, all these things we're gonna comment on. And next thing you know, like, they just kind of abandon some of these ideas. Like, orcs are portrayed as if they are the black people of the world, except the world also has black people, the world has Mexicans, the world has elves. Like, it doesn't, like, what's going on? I can't tell if like there was ever racism amongst the humans or if the racism is justified towards the orcs. Like it almost to a certain degree at times says that the racism is justified towards the orcs. Zootopia had better allegory than this film. And Zootopia is aimed at children mostly. So I don't understand how this movie couldn't get that right. And they spent $90 million on this film, which is crazy. This film budget was huge and I cannot tell you why. Just because something has an interesting concept does not mean it ever actually pays off or that it's worth seeing just on concept alone. They had some good makeup on Joel Edgerton. Every character except Joel Edgerton is unlikable. Extremely predictable in how this film is going to play out. Like everyone except for like the main cast of characters is trying to kill the main cast of characters. So is that a commentary that everybody's evil? Is that the message? The killer elves, the human cops, the Mexican street gangs as if they are themselves a different race. That apparently that's just normal. In their somehow altered fantasy world that not only did the Alamo happen, and not only did the movie Shrek come out, but that, apparently racism still kind of matured in the same way that it does nowadays. Except now there are just more things to be racist towards. I have a theory. I think that Bright was that first cut of Suicide Squad that David Ayer made. And then when the studio decided they wanted to, shift things up with the editing and change things around, that's how Suicide Squad was born. But this is the original Suicide Squad, and it proves that it's still bad.
What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
Kind of just a waste of time because of how it was handled. So I'd say that Bright is a stop. Apparently there's a faction of people that like this movie, so guess what? You're getting a sequel. Congrats. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Well, that's all I got today, guys. I hope you liked the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe right here if you want to see more, and I'll see you on the next one.